James Franklin came out to do an interview about his abrupt firing from Penn State with College GameDay of ESPN this Saturday. Their crew wasted no time in trying to turn up the heat on Franklin, with the second question being a pointed jab asking, "Do you feel you were treated fairly?" Obviously, ESPN here was angling for some juicy backlash against the program that just cut him loose. It's a classic media bait and something that ESPN does all the time. It's what we've come to know from them. It was designed to spark controversy and boost ratings, especially with guys like Nick Saban, Kirk Herbstreit, and Pat McAfee at the table. But at this table, I'm JR, your host of the Big Ten Huddle. I appreciate you being here, listening in, and I hope you will join me and my other co-hosts for more videos and live streams that we do Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday evenings at 9 p.m. Please do like the video, subscribe for future ones, give us a 5-star rating if you're listening on podcasts, especially if you're like me and can't stand the way ESPN tried to get Franklin to talk down about Penn State. Thankfully, Franklin, he did not take the bait. With measured and calmness, he replied, "Fair is not for me to decide, right? That's the other people to decide. That's for other people to decide." It's a classy move, steering clear of drama while keeping his dignity intact. But of course, somebody had to pipe up and tell him he was wrong, and that somebody was Nick Saban, who had to step in and give a passionate tirade, rant, whatever you want to call it, railing against programs, specifically Penn State, for firing coaches too hastily, implicitly shading Penn State in the process. It feels orchestrated by ESPN to have a script to villainize the Nittany Lions for firing James Franklin, but Franklin stayed composed, focusing on positives instead. He described the firing as, quote, "a decision that was made that was hard for me to comprehend at the time," end quote. Yet quickly shifts to gratitude for his 12-year tenure, the support for his family, and above all, the players that he got the chance to mentor. Honestly, it's a really good interview, and I enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed not so much the questioning, but everything that James Franklin had to say. He did a really good job of kind of putting a label on himself and, making him ready for his future, whether that be in coaching, that's what's going to be, or not in coaching. Now, I do have 5 takeaways from this interview that I want to give you. Number 1, Franklin handled everything with first-class poise, in my opinion, never once stooping to bash Penn State despite the golden opportunities that ESPN tossed his way. He's just been, he just got canned, less than a week ago at this point, mid-season, from a job he poured 12 years into. After building the program back from the scandal era lows to a consistent contender in the Big Ten, yet when asked about fairness, he brushes it off with "fair is not for me to decide," knowing that he probably would have got a lot of support if he tried to say it wasn't fair. And he pivoted to appreciation, saying Penn State was good for me, my family. Sure, part of this is strategic. He's doing some good job of getting ready for his job. He's job hunting in a small world where bad-mouthing ex-employers is not exactly the best look, but it feels authentic, rooted in a player-first ethos. In the high-pressure coaching carousel, this kind of grace under fire it's not just like some polite move, it's a power move, right? He's brushing it off, saying, "I can do this without them." It positions him as a steady leader who prioritizes relationships over revenge, making him appealing to athletic directors and another blue blood program if they decide to come calling. We've seen coaches flame out by venting publicly. Franklin's restraint could land him a sweeter gig faster, proving that sometimes silence or just measured words speak louder than outrage. Some of those SEC coaches should take note from that, as a number of them, like to kind of spout off and not really think about what they're saying, it seems like. Number 2, ESPN's agenda to disparage Penn State was painfully obvious, kicking off with the treated fairly questioning and escalating with Nick Saban unleashing his rant once Franklin wouldn't engaged. Saban ever he wants to be the coach's advocate, I guess you could say. And some people will say that, oh, he's just advocating for another coach. He went off about impatient administration, saying things that indirectly torched Kraft's decision without Franklin having to. It was exaggerated, almost theatrical, part genuine solidarity and in a fraternity where jobs are precious, part calculated drama to juice viewership on a big day for game day. As Franklin held firm, the panel's persistence felt forced, like they were desperate for a viral clip. This just further highlights how ESPN is not a true media company with the best interests of the viewer in mind. They are just an entertainment business who want to thrive on conflict, especially in the negatives of the Big Ten. But it backfired here, making Penn State look trigger happy while elevating Franklin's composure. In a broader sense, it reminds us that these shows aren't neutral, right? When you're watching College Game Day, you're not going to, oh, what's the news of college football? What's going on? They're entertainment vehicles designed to prop up one conference and take down others. Coaches sticking together as Saban did is undeniable. It's understandable. It's a tough profession with sky high expectations, although the money's not too bad, so you can't really feel all that bad for them. But when it amps up the bias, it can alienate fans who just want straight analysis. And honestly, that's what we try to give you here on the Big Ten Huddle. We try to combat the SEC bias, but we also just try to give you straight analysis at the same time. Number three, the revelation about Drew Allar staying home injured was mentioned via him talking about a text with Drew Allar's dad. He said, quote, "He's sitting here as well," talking about Drew Allar being injured. We both should be in Iowa. That's what the text said to James Franklin. It was an eyebrow raiser for me that hadn't been widely reported, or at least I didn't see it very much if it had been reported that Drew Allar is no longer with the team, fueling speculation about the quarterback status. The announcement after the game of his season-ending injury was suspiciously quick after their loss, leading me and others to wonder if the injury as a season-ending was as season-ending as it claimed, or if there's some strategic padding to protect him amid the turmoil. I'm not here to knock Drew Allar, right? He's a talented kid. He's trying to navigate a mess here. I'm not trying to disparage Drew Allar, but it does add intrigue to the team's dysfunction. Post-firing transitions are messy, and this tidbit underscores how player health can become a convenient narrative shield. With Drew Allar out, obviously, but not even with the team, it opens the door for an exciting young blood like Ethan Grunkmeyer to shine not only off the field, but also in a leadership role, potentially injecting fresh energy. This season, it's pretty much over for Penn State as far as their goals and what they wanted to accomplish, but it's not over on the field. And it's clear that it's not what the Penn State fans hope for. It sucks, but there is positivity in the fact that Penn State fans get to see a new QB, a young QB who could be their starter next year with less pressure on him. Number four, my fourth takeaway is that Franklin made it abundantly clear he's not done coaching, and he's far from it. He described it as his core identity after 30 years with no fallback hobbies. He says, I don't golf, I don't fish. We got to get back to doing what we do. He's already eyeing the elusive national title elsewhere, talking about how he wants to go win it, which he should be. That's what he should be doing. And he's staying connected with recruits, which means he could be possibly approaching the opportunity to poach some of them come commitment time if he lands a job relatively quickly after the season is over, or maybe even during the season. Who knows? He honestly could get into an SEC program or another Big Ten rival fairly easily, I think. But imagine the irony of him at UCLA, right? If they fire him before the season is over, or if they hire him before the season is over, and that would be pretty crazy if that happened. The coaching world moves fast, and Franklin's proven track record as a good coach who still has time to be elite ensures he'll be in demand. His firing wasn't his funeral. This could launch him to a new opportunity that might might not be better overall, but better right now. By signaling his hunger without desperation, he's controlling his narrative, potentially flipping recruits his way and disrupting the market. For Penn State fans, it's bittersweet, grateful for the era that he had them go through coming out of the scandal era, but weary maybe even of facing him or future opponents with him as the head coach. I don't know how Penn State fans would feel about that, but if Franklin decides to stay in the Big Ten, it would be obviously a huge storyline. And now for my fifth takeaway. Ultimately, this interview confirms that while Franklin sucks or while Franklin doesn't suck. While firing Franklin sucks on a human level, it was a necessary reset for a program with championship standards. He spoke glowingly of the progress. 12 years, a ton of good moments, and a bunch of big wins, he said. And being close, as he put it, to the title, like the near miss last January when they were in the Final Four and just a drive away from beating Notre Dame. Fans should absolutely admire what he did, reviving the program, delivering multiple 10-win seasons, and fostering a good culture for his guys. But Penn State, they aren't about moral victories, and it's honestly about hardware, right? You need to have the good culture, the good morals, while also having good hardware. And he couldn't quite deliver despite the resources and the program giving him more and more and more of what he wanted. And as he put it, decisions were made, and I'm not involved in those decisions. I truly believe that Franklin can win big elsewhere with a better fit. Does that mean a national championship? I don't know. We'll have to see. Not a better job necessarily, but a better fit with administration, as news seems to suggest that the goals lined up with Franklin and Kraft, but the process to get to those goals were not exactly in alignment, which means for Penn State, it's about alignment, right? Kraft needs to hire someone who syncs up with his vision, how he wants to get to the end goal, and perhaps someone who's more innovative in the NIL era recruiting or scheming. It's a tough pill, but programs evolve or stagnate. The next hire isn't guaranteed to be better than Franklin, far from it, but it will be an opportunity to do more and accomplish more. And in this type of situation in college football right now, it's kind of all you can ask for is an opportunity. So overall, Franklin's appearance was more than just a recap of his firing and a teaser of his next chapter. But did you see it the same way, right? Was there anything you noticed that I missed? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like, subscribe, and give us a 5-star rating on podcasts. I'll see you tonight on the Big Ten Power Rankings episode as we go through all the games from today and where the teams line up.